Alright everybody, today we're going to transfer Agar to Uncle Ben's rice. This is the Agar to Uncle Ben's rice tip. Let's get into it. Alright everybody, here everything's in the steel air box, and I did spray it down with 70% ISO before putting it in the steel air box and wiping it down as well. The scalpels I'm using came gamma sterilized, so they should be good to use without more sterilization. I cut the top of the Uncle Ben's rice open with my scalpel, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to scrape the agar with my scalpel. A lot of people will cut the entire agar dish up, but what I'm trying to do here is just scrape the top so the agar plate can re-inoculate itself. Watch how I scrape it off. And one thing I do as well is I use a different scalpel for each process to not cross-contaminate. So now I'm just lightly scraping the top layer of mycelium off of the agar. I'm going to place it into the Uncle Ben's rice. So now you see me sliding the mycelium down into the Uncle Ben's rice. I actually put it down on the rice, and then I get ready to go ahead and use my micro pour tape to seal the top. What I'm doing here is I'm actually pulling off enough micro pour tape to cover the entire top of the bag, and I'm just going to fold it over onto itself just like that. Now I'm going to poke a little hole in the front for some air exchange. That'll also get micro pour tape over the top. And there you go. Now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to squeeze the mycelium down into the rice even more. That's what I'm doing here. Just to kind of work it down in there and make sure it's got good contact, you know. One thing I do as well, when I put the mycelium down into the rice, I pinch the bag off and make sure the mycelium stays down and not on my scalpel. Let's get into the second bag here. So I'm just going to do the same thing, open a new razor blade, scalpel, and then I'm going to go ahead and cut the top off. I leave as much of the top as possible, just so I have room to work with. One thing I did as well is I squeezed all the rice down into the bottom of the bag before I ever started. I hear you really don't want the rice all over the top of the bag, so it's better to have it down at the bottom. So now what I'm doing is I'm scraping it again. Like I said, I'm hoping this agar plate will go ahead and grow some more mycelium, and I think it will. I left some in there. So here we go again. I'm going to go ahead and put the mycelium directly down into the rice. Then I'm going to grab the scalpel on either side, outside of the bag, like this. And that makes sure the mycelium stays down on the rice. So now I'm going to go ahead and get ready, the micro pour tape ready again. I'm going to stretch it out, measure the bag, you know. That was a little mess up. Micro tape stuck to itself. Alright, this time I'm just going to go ahead and cut the excess off instead of folding it in. Just decided to do that. Now we're going to poke a breather hole again and put the micro pour tape over the top of that. And now I'm squeezing the mycelium down into the rice again to make sure I have good contact on the rice and the mycelium. That's what I'm doing now. That window is where you're going to see your growth, if it's good or not. Within the next couple of weeks, I should be seeing something going on in this bag. So now I'm just squeezing the rice down, making sure it's all good. And there you have it. 2 Uncle Ben's rice, fully inoculated with mycelium. Big shout out to the rookie mycologist here on YouTube. I have learned so much from him. Thank you, kind sir.